Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we've all had the conversation with somebody whereby you come to somebody with a problem, and then as you're speaking the problem, you come up with your own solution. Yeah, similar scenario.
And all someone has to do is just listen. All right, welcome to the CrossFit by Design podcast. This is episode 11. How are you, Mr. Smits?
Good.
That is good.
Good. How are you, bro?
I'm really good. I'm really good also.
Nice.
All right. So today we're talking about morning routines. I feel this is a sort of a rite of passage. Every podcast has some aspect of morning routines, but people may not know why that is important or even what that means. So why is a routine, and in particular a morning routine, important?
Well, it sets you up for success. So you win the morning, you win the day.
Yep.
Like the thing I like about the morning routine is you don't go into this reactive mode straight away. So you purposely do things that, like, you don't check your email and you don't jump on social media and you don't do things that are going to put you into this reactive state. So I need to respond to this email, I need to do this, I need to do that. It's like, no, you set up the parameters by which basically you just set up your day how you want to set it up.
Yeah.
And then you go through that routine and it's just a small victory.
Yeah.
You get yourself in the right mindset, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And then it's just, man, it's the way to go, bro.
Yeah. And that small victory has a big aspect on your mental health, your mental application for the day, because a lot of this is it's mental. It's obviously physical as well, but the aspect of the fact that we can plan out what we're going to do for the particular morning routine, or the day before, I know I want to do this, and that's what I do each morning. By doing that, like, yes, okay, I've done that. I've actually the first thing that I wanted to do, I've accomplished. So I've succeeded that. So in your mind, that's a little win.
Yeah.
But also, you don't have to spend time thinking about what you were going to do, because you already knew what you were going to do and you just did it. So your mind, you haven't wasted any conscious effort trying to think, what clothes am I going to wear, or what am I going to do for the first half an hour of my morning, and you're sort of thinking about that, and instead you can be getting your mind ready for the actual day and the real things that matter, rather than have to worry each day what you're going to wear for.
That's a heaps better definition than I gave.
Yeah. Whoop. It's knocking stuff over.
Yeah, sorry.
So do you want to go through what's your morning routine?
Yep.
And why each component? Why do you do each component?
Okay. Well, my morning routine starts at night. Like you said, I sort of lay my clothes out, ready to go.
Yep.
So I don't have to think about it. I literally I'll roll out of bed, jump in the shower, clothes are there ready to go, and then from there, wander into the kitchen, turn the kettle on, come out here, light the fire, and then I'll go wake up Joe, and then we'll have coffee together, and then we do the Daily Stoic. So we just read a page out of that book, and then we each have a 5-minute journal, which is we just write in 3 things that you're grateful for, 3 things that would make today great, or 3 things that would make today awesome, and then a daily affirmation. So I'm the best podcaster in the world ever.
Yeah.
So I'll do that, spend a little bit of time with Joe, and then usually from there I'll familiarise myself with the workout of the day.
Yep.
I'll go back over that. So I've already written it out and gone over it once before, but I'll go over it again in the morning so it's fresh in my mind.
Yep.
And then
from a coaching aspect.
And then I'll jump in the car and I'll usually listen to a podcast or maybe something motivational. So a motivational video, something I'll just play that while I'm cruising down to the gym. Yep. And then I guess that's probably the end of the morning routine, because then from there I'm kind of in work mode.
So how long would that whole process have taken you?
So I get up at 4:30.
Yep.
And then I'm at work by 5:30.
Yep.
So I've had breakfast, I'm good to go, done the WODs, I'm writing it on the board at 5:30.
Yep.
So all that's an hour. And I think that's find what works for you. Because the 5-minute journal's awesome, because it's probably not even 5 minutes. It's that, 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things that will make today super unreal, daily affirmation. So I'm super cool.
Yep.
And it just kind of gets you in that positive mindset. Like I said, I'm not responding to anything, I'm just writing my thoughts down. And it's not about being an awesome writer either. If you picked up my journal, you'd be like, what is this? It's just, it's not about being a super good rider. And I
Yeah.
think that's what people think. They're like, I couldn't do a morning routine. I can't think about that kind of stuff early
Yeah.
in the morning. It's not like that. Scribble down whatever.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for the roof over my head,
Mm.
the relationships I have, and this coffee in my hand.
Yeah.
Simple. Just start out with like easy gratitude.
Yeah.
And then your daily affirmation, it can be whatever. Like Tom and I are getting better at doing podcasts. That's cool. Sweet. Don't complicate it.
Yeah.
You're just trying to put yourself in a nice positive mindset so you can continue that throughout the day. And like you said, it's a small win.
Yeah.
And you gain momentum after that.
Yeah. And I think also, we've explained why we think this is important. It sets up your day, takes the mental thought out of doing the things that are repetitive. Typically anything, if you're in, the IT industry or the automotive or, anything that's where you can automate processes from a business perspective, if something needs to be repeated multiple times, you want to try and automate that as much as possible to take the effort out of doing it. You don't want to do repetitive things repeatedly and put the same effort into it each time manually. You want to try and find, can I write a process that's going to, run this script on my computer and it's going to, do this process again and again and again, so the factory line, just works. I don't have to do it manually each time. So you're saving time and effort. In the same way, if I know exactly what I'm going to eat each morning, what I'm going to wear each morning, and how I'm going to set up my day, then you're kind of automating that process in a sense, so you don't have to, spend so much time and effort on that in the morning. And I think for people listening who maybe are looking to try this or maybe haven't done it before, I'm sure that process you've got now, that's taken years to develop. I listen to a lot of people who talk about their morning routines. Oh wow, I wish I had that down pat. It sounds cool to have done a morning routine. Oh, you've done this for the last 25 years. I've done this, and it just sets me up so great. I can tell you now, it's not as easy as just deciding on it and doing it, and then all of a sudden you're never going to have an issue with it again. It is a bit of a process, and for me, personally, it's taken me a while to develop things. I've tried certain things. I've found certain things don't work. And that's part of the process as well, as trying to find things that do work for you that line up with how you want to set up your day.
Yeah, I agree. Like, mine didn't start out like that either. It used to just be, because of the hours I keep, Joe and I don't get to spend a lot of time together. So it was as simple as wake up every morning, we just have coffee together.
Yep.
And then we just added these other things in and see the benefit of it. But what's your morning routine?
So it has changed. It has changed over time. I typically have one or two things that stay constant. So depending on where I'm at, particular times of the year, and also even sometimes days of the week, depending on whether I'm coaching in the mornings or not. But let's say I'm coaching in the mornings. I will wake up at 4:30 as well. Typically, if I'm not coaching, I'll wake up at 5, so I just delay that by half an hour. Wake up at 4:30. I have a cold shower. That for me is probably the number one thing that moves the needle the most. Some mornings it's not easy to have a cold shower, but you have a cold shower, everything else in the day is easy,
Yeah, right.
So I have a cold shower in the morning, and then I'll get up, I'll make my bed, and then I have this, I call it words to live by. So I've written out phrases that define who I want to be. So it might not be the way I am now. It's kind of you can think of it as speaking things into existence. And so I, out loud, read a list of phrases about myself. And so, I am becoming excellent as a coach, those kind of things. And so I have a whole list of things that I am developing in my life intentionally. And so by speaking them out, it has a very powerful effect of not only reminding you that that's right, this is who I'm becoming, but it kind of builds you self-conscious as to, yeah, that's who I am. I am becoming this kind of person. So I do that in the morning, and then I don't eat before I go to the gym. So I typically don't have breakfast at that time. I will get ready, go down to the gym. I try to get out of the house as quickly as I can, and then I'll go down and either coach or work out. And then if I'm coaching, I'll typically work out after I coach. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's great too, because that's pretty different from what I do, but it works.
Yeah.
And that's what you were kind of alluding to before. It's like you don't have to start out with this. It's not a copy paste thing.
No.
Just find out what works for you. Like I would recommend you grab something like a 5-minute journal and just start there.
Yep.
Like you can buy them online, or you can literally just scribble out what I said. Like you,
Yep.
you can download a picture or whatever.
Yep.
But I think it's like $10 or
Yep.
something.
And even if, some people aren't necessarily morning people, and, that's no excuse, but, for instance, I find I prefer to write at night. So the last thing I do before I go to bed is I do a lot of writing, not just, journal type stuff. I just do a lot of writing in general. So I like writing at night, and that is kind of part of my routine is I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the 5-minute journal has it. I just struggle with it personally, so I don't want to put it in there because I don't do it. I don't do it as often as I should. I wouldn't call it routine. It's like it has a nighttime one as well. So it's like 3 things that happened today that were unreal, and what can I do? Like how could I have done things better?
Yep.
So that's like like the key to a good morning routine is having that nightly routine as well.
Yep.
And so I'd agree with that. It's another way. Like, man, I should sell 5-minute journals, bro.
Yeah.
Like, just buy a 5-minute journal. Click here.
Yeah.
But it's a great place to start because it's just written out for you. Just follow the bouncing ball.
Yeah. And if people haven't, heard about journaling and writing down, I mean, it's nothing new. It's been around for a long time. And the easiest way I can explain why it's beneficial and how it works is our brains are we have so much thought going through our brains that if it's just left, condensed in our brain, it just eats away at us, and it makes it difficult to be clear in a lot of the decisions that we make. And so the act of getting what's in your brain out, whether it's through spoken word or on paper, has such a powerful impact of clearing your mind, because you actually see and come to understand better what you're thinking and why you're making certain decisions, and why you've been processing things a certain way, maybe why you've been feeling a certain way, and getting it out. Even the act of just doing that brings so much clarity. And I can't tell you the amount of times I've written something out, but wow, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, now I've got to do this.
Yeah.
And that's why we do things like the 5-minute journal and writing. So
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we've all had the conversation with somebody whereby you come to somebody with a problem, and then as you're speaking the problem, you come up with your own solution. Yeah, similar scenario.
And all someone has to do is just listen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I think that's about it. Anything else you want to add?
No, man.
No.
Thanks for listening.
Yes.
I don't think that should be our sign off.
Nah, screw the listeners.
It's not about them.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Tom.